Always taught to kind of put it right where you feel that like little bone or indent is like where you want to place your contour or bronzer. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tyra and today we are going to be doing a soft glam. So just for those who don't know what a soft glam is, I would say in my opinion a soft glam is something that looks like very natural, something that gives more skin. Another example of soft glam is something that's just very like curly, very lightweight. I'm going to attempt to do a cool like holiday eyeshadow, something like frosty, something like really pretty, again soft. I'm not gonna yap at you guys, but if that is something that you are interested in and want to learn with me on how to do this eyeshadow look, then keep watching. It's already moisturized, but I am going to use this product here, pump of this. So actually this is the Glowy Super Gel in the shade Sun Glow. So it's an illuminator. So this is just gonna act as like our base. I moisturized my face and washed my face so my face is clean. I'm using my Fenty Beauty. This is a contour stick, shade Truffle. I'm actually gonna warm it up on the back of my hand here because again, we're going for a soft look. I like to put the product on my wrist, let it marinate into my skin, and we're gonna use a fluffy brush, pat that into our skin, the product on there as much as we can. This is enough, and then we're just gonna place our contour like right here. It's always taught to kind of put it right where you feel that like little bone or indent is like where you want to place your contour or bronzer. See, I still have some more product on the back of my wrist. So I'm just taking any of the excess products and I'm gonna place it on my forehead. So I like to do it kind of like towards the temples of my forehead, and then just softly just pat the product in like so. We're not gonna touch our nose contour just yet, but we are gonna come back to that in a second. The lighting is okay still. I just had to change out my battery. But next, as you guys can see, the contour is on. Very soft, very natural still. And mind you, we have no other makeup on right now. We have no foundation. All we put on so far is the Sun Glow and contour. That's it. Now we're gonna use some blush. I am my road. I'm debating between using in the shade Iggy, or we can use my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk tints. We can use one of these two, or actually just got these from Win Beauty. Should we test one of those? They actually just sent me these shades and I spoke about it in my last YouTube video, which was an unboxing video. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you guys do. But they haven't been used yet. Yeah, let's try one. Why not? There's this one. Looks like a nice color I would probably use. So this is in the shade Soar and it kind of looks like a nice neutral. I feel like it would look nice on top of my bronzer, so let's try it out. This is a lip and cheek tint. Let's see how it looks on the back of my hand. It is very rich. Let's see, so let's try that. The other shade, what about Pull? This is like a hot pink color. Can you guys see? Actually, Pull might be really pretty. I like the hot pink color here. We're gonna blend this out with a brush because I feel like it has a lot of movement and I don't want it to be very controlled. So let's grab like a small brush. This one actually, this might be a good brush to use. Let's see. It kind of already got blotchy. Are you guys seeing that? I don't know if you're seeing that on my camera, but it kind of broke up and I don't know why. It's a little bit closer, but can you see that? I'm not giving up on it just yet. I think the color is very pretty, but it shouldn't have like created this kind of like blotchy effect. So we're gonna wipe this off and we're gonna try a different blush. I'm gonna fix this and I'll be right back. We're good. So instead of using that blush, I am going to use my Giorgio Armani Silk blush in the shade 53. This was the one I was going to use the first time, I'm not gonna lie, But I was trying to do something different and it's okay. So we're just gonna place her like right here. And I'm gonna be generous because I know that this is buildable and I can add as I need to, but this should get me where I need to be. I'm gonna use a smaller brush this time just to blend it out, but let's see. I like to put my blush underneath my eye a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit more and hope that that shows up. Okay, we're doing a cute holiday look. Yeah, this is perfect. You obviously need a little bit of concealer. So at the moment, this is the only concealer that I think I have. We're gonna stick to what I know and what works. So this is from Ruby Kisses. This is in the shade Medium Beige. I'm only gonna apply concealer in the corner of my eye, very little bit in the corner of my eye, outer edges of my eye. I'm just gonna put like just a little bit in the center. We're gonna do spot rolling because I have a little bit of breakouts that I just want to cover up. We are gonna do our nose. Tip of the nose, highlight, the bridge, small dots right here. I crease quite often around my nostrils, so I'm gonna do smaller little dots, and then I do like 1 or 2 dots on my chin. Into the issue of my concealer constantly cracking, that's why I'm only using a tiny little bit this time. So we're just gonna blend this out, just dab the product into our skin and kind of drag it down, really patting it in. Blend out our forehead. This concealer blends down pretty fast, that's why I'm starting with a little does go a long way. So see, once I blend out my concealer, you'll see like, wow, like I really only needed that much. My forehead. Go in with our damp beauty blender and kind of get rid of those harsh edges. This first portion, using my all-nighter, this is from Urban Decay. Just for our base and just to make sure everything is blended down and melted down, we're going to use our Fenty Ease Drop in the shade Blurring Stick in the shade 16. Place it underneath where I did my contour on both sides, and then we're gonna just do a little bit on my forehead, and that's it. Hear the heat turning on, and it's really loud. I'm sorry. It's very cold here. I live in New York, and you guys already know how that goes. I'm not sure how it's picking up, but it just keeps not being in focus. You guys are hearing the sirens because I'm hearing them. Look, I'm on a journey till I can get better mics and just have better sound and everything. We gotta just do what we gotta do. Spray. Debating if I want to add a little bit more blush. The concealer kind of like erase some of it. We're gonna still use that same shade that I used in the beginning. This is in the shade 62, and then we're gonna use 53. 62, and it's more like of a berry pink kind of moment. This is what I wanted. I wanted it to be very prominent. My Laura Mercier loose translucent powder. I'm only gonna place this in the corners of my eyes. A little triangle sponge, placing it literally only right here, and we're gonna bake that for a few minutes. Nothing too crazy. Let's setting and baking. We're gonna go in with our Huda Beauty. This is in the shade Peach Pie. Put this closer to my under eye, like under my eye. So this was in the corner of my eye. We're gonna put this shade directly under my eye. And just kind of pressing it into any other areas where we put concealer. For that soft glow. Tap a little bit off. Press into Let that powder just kind of do its thing, sink into my skin. It's already doing really great. Then we're gonna brush off any of the excess so that there's no harsh lines, there's no obvious like powder marks. But I'm gonna do my brows off camera and then I'll be right back. The brows are on. So this isn't normally how I do my brows, but I ran out of my Benefit brow pencil. So I had to just use this pencil that I just randomly found just to fill them in. Concealer that I use under my eyes and just like shape in my brow just a little bit so it's not as harsh. Back in with our setting spray. We are gonna do a little bit of my lip combo right now before I start my eyeshadow because I can still feel it that it's a little bit wet on my brows. So we're gonna go in using my MAC Cosmetics liner in the shade Cork. As y'all can see, I wore this into the grown. Take your time with this part, because last thing you're gonna do is walk around looking crazy with your lip liner smudged all over the place. It'll work if your lips are wet. So my lips look really dried out right now, but trust me, that's how they should be when you're applying a liner. Because this camera, the battery always dies. Like I'm using my Sony ZV-1. I bought this about a few years ago and I love this camera. This is my first vlogging camera, but it always dies. Thankfully I have like 3 or 4 batteries and then it overheats. So if anyone has any suggestions on cameras, vlogging cameras that the battery lasts like a really long time, it doesn't overheat, please let me know. I don't know what the shade is because I can do a very soft nose contour. A little bit more of the Laura Mercier loose powder just to enhance what we just did. We're gonna use our Too Faced chocolate bar. This has been through it. I think this was like my first ever palette and I still use it. I don't really buy a lot of palettes anyway, but I know this is like the first one I bought and as you can see, it's been through it. So we're gonna start with this pink shade. It's called Nougat. It's like a baby pink shade. I'm gonna put this all over my lid. I also have my James Charles Morphe palette, which does have white in it. So we're gonna use a little bit of the white in this palette and kind of put it closer to the corners of my eyes. Okay, can you guys see that? Kind of like that. I think we're just gonna place like a sparkly color on top. This, y'all, what's it giving? So the last step, well, what I was gonna do with my eyes was use this palette from Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership, and I was going to take this shade, which is like a sparkly pink color, or I don't know, very holographic, or do we take the one that's underneath it? It kind of gives more of like a purple. I think the holographic will look nice. I just need to start slow so to not overpack it. Very tiny brush. Is there a mirror in here? Yeah, there's a mirror. And I'm just gonna add a little bit kind of like right here and see what happens. White and this like beige neutral, and we're just gonna press it in. Let me know how I did for my first attempt at like a holiday kind of snowy frosty eyeshadow look. Let me know how I did. We're gonna go in with this lipstick from Lancome. It's in the shade 215. Like a nice neutral. Using a lot because we're actually going to layer this Win gloss, and this is in the shade Trophy, and we're using this because it has a little bit of sparkle know if you'll be able to tell from the video, but it has like a really cool shimmer to it. Oh, that this is like one of my favorite shades. Alright, I'm gonna change my clothes, come back, and then show you guys the finished look. This is the finished look. You guys can kind of see. So this is a soft glam X holiday eyeshadow look that's a little bit Christmassy, a little frosty. Let me know what you guys think, and until next time.